Welcome, Ocoee region, to Hidden Gems of the Ocoee region. I am Tony Miles, your host, and guess what? Yes, I'm going to say it. I am excited. I am excited about this gem that I'm bringing to you today. She is a phenomenal woman of integrity and character. And I'm just loving the fact that she's here in our community and she grew up here in our community. And she's a wife, she's a mother, she's an entrepreneur. That's the way I'm going to tell that story. And so this hidden gem today is Olympia Pierce. And she is here to talk about something great, a gift that God has given her that's to share with this community. And we're going to get into that. But first of all, Olympia, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony, for having me. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Olympia Pierce. And yes, I did grow up here in this area in Cleveland. Cleveland is a small town. So when you introduce yourself and someone's not familiar with you, they ask who your family is, what school you went to.
Right.
So by path of Arnold Elementary, Cleveland Middle School, Cleveland High School, and even a few courses at Cleveland State.
All right. And a graduate of Lee University.
Yes, and Lee University.
And so, normally, and I jump right into it, so we didn't start talking about who you are and growing up here and all that. But so continue on. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I will. Most people know me from working at the Cleveland Bradley 911 Center.
Okay.
Yes, I did that shortly after high school, and that's also how I met my husband. Hi, Sean. And after we married, I relocated to North Carolina.
Okay.
And I've been back in this area since 2009. Shortly after we came back, the Lord laid it on my heart to go back to school.
Okay.
And so that's when I took my associate degree that I had got at Pitt Community College and re-enlisted in school at Lee University. Now, the funny thing about that is that I was almost 40 years old when I decided to go back to school. So for you mothers out there,
come on,
whose kids are growing up and they don't want to be bothered with you anymore, and you have your own time to do what you want to do, it's never too late to go back to school.
Yes.
But God laid it on my heart to go and actually attend classes on campus. And so I had an opportunity to connect on a heart level with the younger generation. Okay. And I was almost like a mom, away from home. And I had a daughter myself that was living in another state. So I could relate to the children being away from home for the first time in another city and not having their family and all the comforts that they were used to and trying to make a way on their own.
Yes.
And my husband and I embraced them, and a lot of them became like our own children. And we did this for years. And it really blossomed in my heart a desire to do just that, to walk alongside the younger generation as they found their way in life.
So that leads us right in, and we can transition to, and I'm going to have Adrian to change the slide to a new foundation group. Yes. And this is your foundation group. It's recently birthed.
Yes.
And so, and it's really about helping our young people in terms of developing leadership skills and life skills to ensure that they thrive.
Yes.
Okay.
You are right on the
money.
I'm
right on it. I was just trying to I know all the stuff you're doing, but I wanted to capture it in such a way that the Ocoee community to wrap their minds around it. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about anew. Go ahead.
Okay. Anew, which stands for a new understanding. On the principle and foundation that, a lot of times we want to change, and we begin change with our calendar, with our habits.
Yeah.
We'll write down a to-do list.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's only successful for a very short amount of time, like working out. I'm going to start working out, and then you do it for about a week. But true change begins in the mind and with your understanding.
Yes.
So giving them a new understanding of who they are, what they're capable of, and what they can do in the world.
Amen. I love that. I really do. Okay, so let's talk about how you plan to do this, how you're going to touch these young people in this community and eventually beyond.
Yes, and it started with my husband and I. We were working as youth leaders for many years. And we have children that are in that age group as well. And then their friends. My children would bring their friends to our house. And so our home was always full of around the same age group of young people working through life and being that voice of wisdom when they had questions or support when times got hard. And so we grew with them. Mm-hmm. And it almost got to the point where we couldn't take on any more children because there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yes.
And we still wanted to make sure that our own family, you surround that and make sure it's protected and the things that you do with God and in your own personal life. And so I needed to create a bigger platform.
Yes.
So that we can open our arms to bigger numbers of young people and also provide for them the environment, a safe environment for learning. One of the hardest things when you transition out of high school, and these are normally your peers that you've grown up with from kindergarten to 12th grade, and then it's over. You're walking across that stage and everyone's asking you what you want to do next. But community is always our greatest support. So we want to provide that for the young people and give them a safe space to learn in where things like life skills, also that platform would be used to cultivate leadership development as they're working with one another.
Oh, I love that. I really do. Now, what age group are we talking about?
We're looking at 18 to around 26. Some high school students graduate at 17, and I understand that. But around 18 to 26 is the age group that we're targeting right now.
And you know what? When I think about this, I think what I love about you and this foundation is that you are fulfilling a gap that is in this community. We got something for the little people. We got something for middle school. Probably several organizations focused on the middle school. And then, of course, we have things focused on high school, organizations focused on high school. But after you graduate from high school, that's another milestone, but it's a pivotal moment of transition. And depending on how, and it's even these kids that you have helped through elementary, middle school, high school, they still need mentoring, coaching as they transition from that to adulthood. Because basically, 18, we say, oh, you're an adult now, go. And they still need guidance, and they still need to understand what it is because everyone's a leader. And that's the other message that I know you really are tapped into. It's not about who is an extrovert or an introvert. We are all leaders, and we are all influencers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a big part of leadership is empowering other leaders.
Yes.
A lot of times we think that leadership is about being up front and our responsibilities are making sure that we, lead people in the right direction and that we are there for everyone. But the greatest part of leadership is helping other people recognize the power and the potential that's inside of them
Yes.
and bringing up new leaders.
See, I'm just really loving that. And that just makes a community more powerful.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I really think that is, when I think about the up-and-coming generations, I think that's going to be a key to us being, and I don't mean to bring in a campaign slogan, but in terms of people talking about being great again. But if we don't focus on our generation that's coming up, that we're going to have to hand the baton to,
Yes.
then we won't maintain being great.
But I'll tell you what encouraged my heart so
Okay.
much being on campus with the young adults at Lee University. I saw these young people, and I was in the School of Religion, that were on fire for the Lord.
Yes.
And they had such passion because, remembering back to that age, that's what you have in abundance.
Yes.
Is passion.
Yes.
And wanting to do good in the world. But once you get a few years out, you recognize that there are things that we all have to deal with as adults.
Yes.
Whether it's how to take care of your vehicle to make sure that it's not breaking down on the side of the
Come
road.
on. You just said a mouthful right there.
Or how to mend your clothes.
Now, and I love the fact, I got to say that, I'm going to stop right here because I was going through all the workshops that you do, and I love leadership development. I love all that stuff, okay? But I saw home economics, and I said, oh my God, she's on to something. Because not only men clothes, how to boil water, how to cook, how to eat nutritionally that gives your body the fuel it needs to perform at the level that it should. So, I love the fact that you're doing all those things. So you go ahead. I just had to stop and say that.
Gardening, that's another
yes,
one.
Come on.
And then practical things on top of vocational skills, but things like self-awareness and empathy for others. How to say no. It can take you years to learn how to say no. The art of negotiations when you go into a job, how to negotiate your worth.
Yes, yes.
So just a lot of practical, real life things that, you take for granted.
Yeah.
The amount of time and the experiences that it takes to really learn to do that well and to give them an opportunity to speed through some of the things that I had that turbulence with as I was growing up. I was a first-generation college student, and even things like filling out the FAFSA form. And,
oh, my God. Come on.
All of the things that go along with trying to make sure you have everything that you need to go to school.
Yes.
Someone to walk alongside you throughout that process. And that age group looks different for everyone. Some people in that age group are parenting.
Yes.
And some are going to school, and some are going to work. And you just transition from being in a classroom and having fun with your friends to the responsibility of adulthood.
Yes.
And my tagline for Anew is your life, new heights. And you hear young people say that a lot, like, this is my life. I want to live my life. But that doesn't apply to just having fun. Right. It's your life when you have to determine which course you're going to take, when you have school loans that have to be repaid,
come on. I remember
bills.
that.
We can't go to mommy and daddy and say, I need you to take care of this for me, but it's my life. So taking your life, and you have the power to create your life.
Yes.
And make it what you want it to be.
Yes. I love this because I just think of so many times how many children have had to return home. To their parents' home because they didn't really have the life skills to maintain the lifestyle that either was in their mind.
They make it look so good these days.
Yeah, they do make it look so good. But really having an opportunity to learn something. And this is what I love. This is what I love about mentoring and coaching is that there's two ways you can get wisdom. You can either by making mistakes are having a good coach or a good mentor in your life that can guide you around those snares that are out there. And I used to hear people, well, once you make the mistake, you know it and you'll never make it again. But we don't have to learn that way.
No.
Okay? And this is what I love about what God has put on your heart to do. And just want to say thank you to you and your husband for this commitment to our community, but also to this nation, because I truly believe seeing this is a model that can be replicated.
Absolutely.
Okay? Throughout not only Cleveland, but Tennessee and other states throughout the nation. And matter of fact, it can even cross the waters.
That is so true. And what you were saying about, learning life, the different ways that we learn, because you don't want to make every mistake.
No.
Because every decision that you make has consequences
Yes.
attached to it. And some you can put a Band-Aid on and walk away from, and some you can't.
Nope. Some of them are life.
That's right. They have long-term or
Yes.
life consequences.
Yes.
And so you can move with greater efficiency in the world
Yes. I love
if
that.
you, number one, get rooted and grounded in the
Yes.
Lord.
Come on.
For that foundation and that wisdom, but also to have a mentor
Yeah.
like you.
Thank you, sweetie. Well, I love giving back. And one of the things that Lord has equipped me with is, mentoring and coaching, that's my heart. And so because it's just, my grandfather always said, and I do it unto him, he's a great man. He said, when you have a community, you're all on the same level. And so you got to always, and he never said, we can reach back. But isn't it wonderful when we can reach out? And that burns in my brain. And so I'll reach back. But what I want to do is create a community that I can just reach out. And we can walk this journey hand in hand. Before we're coming to the conclusion, but I want to talk about there are needs that you are needing.
Yes.
And so we want people to know, if you'd like to, get involved, let's talk about that. How people can get involved with you and your husband on this journey, on this mission. How do we
Yes.
do that?
If you want to partner with us, and we are looking for partners, because
Yes.
it's not just the work of one or two people, it's the work of everyone. We are a community. And so if you want to partner with us, here's the contact information. You can log on to www.anufg.org or contact me directly at 423-641-8581. I'm also on all the social media platforms with the username Your Life Anew.
I love that. And I just want to encourage this community. I've had you are in the United Way Center
people.
of Social Impact.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And that's how I met Tony at the Center for Social Impact and the people at the United Way. Shout out to them. They are so great, always working to find ways to create positive change in our community. And so we want you to join us on that endeavor, creating positive change in this region.
Yes. And so I just want to encourage you because, again, as you know, it takes money. And I don't have a problem asking. It takes money to do this work. And God has raised up Olympia and her family to do this work. And so not only come alongside of her with time, but we need to come alongside of her with resources, including money. So any foundations out there that have a heart for young people, contact Olympia Pierce, and any individuals out there, go to her website. Come on, donate. All right, social media, donate. okay? Because that's what we do here in Cleveland, the most giving community that I've ever been a part of. So again, I want to thank you guys for joining us today.
And thank you,
And
Tony,
thank
for having me.
Oh, God, yes. And so, you know what? What I'm going to say to you, Ocoee region, we love you. God bless you and keep you. And join me again next time on Hidden Gems of Ocoee region. Goodbye.